now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis. We'll get going at 10 after the hour. Got about 5 minutes to go. Hope everybody had a great Monday as the market tries to put in a bit of a rally. We'll see if we get a follow through to this rally. So we'll be right back with you. Hey, Eric, when you guys were here, did you guys go out and see the Missouri in the Pacific Aviation Museum? Okay. Yeah, we took Michelle's twin sister and older sister and brother-in-law out there to see the aviation museum. They enjoyed their time, and I enjoyed my time too. Okay, we'll start about 3 more minutes. Hey, Donald. Glad you can make it today. Tracy, you guys staying warm in the Midwest, or the Southwest, excuse me. I am. I shouldn't be. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Aftermarket Monday session for the active trend trading system. I want to basically say welcome to everybody. People have been checking in with the temperatures where they're from, and it's too cold for me. If you're down in the 17s or 19s or 20s, it's too nippy for me. Joining me today is just as an observer is Brandon Wilborn, who is our son who lives in Boise. I want to remind everybody that all the materials we do present are for training purposes only. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance does not guarantee future performance. The objective of Aftermarket Monday is basically to spend about 10 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes going over timely, actionable intel at the beginning of each week. We'll do a real quick market review. This is not a Fed week. This is just a regular week. Fed met, closed out last week, I want to say, with our week before last, with a slight bump. Did not raise the rates, but the rate at which the Fed is raising rates is becoming of concern to the market. Are they going to disrupt and derail the rally and all that kind of stuff that's currently going on in the market? We shall see. We'll be highlighting a couple of stocks and ETFs, and here's some of the refinements we've made in the active trend trading system for all members. Now, for the premium members, of course, you get the premium stuff. You get the text alerts, you get the email alerts, and just a reminder that text alerts go out when I am buying something or when I'm placing orders to buy things, and then if it's filled, or shortly after that, a email alert will go out that sets up the rest of the story and parameters for that particular trade, stop loss, profit targets, and all those kind of things. And then I do, if you are a active trend trading, you basically just, you take advantage of the free free newsletter on a weekly basis. That's fine. That's great. Welcome. And we do provide bonus trades for that are inclusive for everybody. But I just ask that everybody be a member of Active Trend Trading. Here's how we're sitting per the day. As you can see, NASDAQ and NASDAQ and the NASDAQ composite has pushed back up. It took us about 12:15. Pacific Standard Time has pushed back up in the positive territory. The active trend trading system is up about a little bit over 6% for the year. Dow, S&P, and Russell still down for the year. Russell is down the most, partly because it's getting the biggest impact due to the increases in interest rates. If you're a premium member, you got this yesterday and last night. It basically highlighted, the 3 index ETFs, all showing that they have a setting up. The FAS. Now, as I explained last night, if I have FAS setting up, or basically this is the financials, FAS or FES, if they're setting up at the same time as my index ETFs, which oftentimes they do, I'll lean towards trading the index ETF. Won't mess with the financials just because they kind of follow the same trajectory. Of these, here's the ones I'm interested in. I'm interested in 2 of them, basically because I think they will do better if they get on board. And if I can move that out of the way, there we go. And I'm interested in basically the Qs the Qs here, or S&P. S&P. I think those 2 will perform better than at least they have for the past year or so, performed a little bit better than TNA. Doesn't mean that TNA is not a good trade, but I would like to focus here. We'll take a real quick look at those also. As far as I'm really liking the potential for something with gold, and I'm looking at JNUG. NVDA and YY are trying to do some kind of a little rally. We got, we received TSI tick-up signals on those, and so we want, but no signal today as far as to get into the trade. So that's where we're sitting with those. We'll take a look at a couple of those. I do want to highlight, and I'm liking gold seasonality. Primarily because one, Eric Gallup was here with his lovely wife a few weeks ago, and he suggested, he said, hey, take a look at the junior gold miners. They go up about 1/3 as much, and you've already heard this. They go up about 1/3 more than, or move about 1/3 more than the non-junior miners, and that's why I'm explaining this right now, David. And so if when you compare Nugget to JNUG, well, JNUG goes up 1/3 more than Nugget does, and so I'm going, for the same level of effort, if I can get 1/3 more, I'll take it. And so that's one of the reasons why I bounced over and looked at that, and doing that. So what we've got going on here is we've got 2 different charts. We've got the 40-year pattern, which captures 40 years worth of tendencies with gold. And normally at the first part of February, you get a sell-off in gold. Comes down here and bounces a little bit in March, then kind of runs sideways, and then gets this big, and both of them do, gets this kind of consolidation pattern here, June, July timeframe, and then gets ready to blast off for a bullish move from about somewhere from the 1st of July to the midsection of August to get this run up into approximately the early portion of October. Excuse me. There's 2 different patterns here. We have the 40-year pattern, and that's what that tends to be like. And then we have the 15-year pattern, which shows the tendency over the last 15 years. Gold tends to bounce up a little bit in February, and then do the sell-off, and then go sideways, and then but do a similar type of bounce towards the end of the year. So of course, yeah, we want to be awake on this portion right here, we want to be paying attention to this June, July / October reversal period, because that's when it goes on its biggest run. But we also want to be paying attention to some of these other potentials, because how did JNUG and JDUS do last year? And this is kind of, I think I'm going to lean on this as being the bonus trade for the active trend trading members, both the premium, well, the non-premium ones, that free trade that I share with everybody. And I think I'm going to do it on JNUG and JDUS. And here's the reason why. Here was 2017 action on junior miners, JNUG. Well, as you can see, here's just 4 opportunities to potentially trade this. If you are an active trend trading premium member, you know what the triggers are. But in 9 days early in the year, went up 57%, 56% in 13 days, 62% in 30 days, 61% in 27 days. And while we know we're not going to capture all of that, if just for conservative estimation, if we can pick where it does its reversal and even capture 1/2 of that move, well, $1,000 capital would have grown to $2,800 in value by capturing 1/2 of these 4 moves, or in other words, 281%. I know I have a lot of friends who, with smaller accounts, that are trying to trade options. And what makes this better than an option, in my opinion, again, this is opinion, this is not a recommendation, is that an option, when you hit the expiration period, you may have some residual value in it due to whatever's in the money. But if you're out of the money, the value of that option is going to go to big goose eggs. Everybody knows that. And so that's what we, and so with, JNUG, even if you would have brought JNUG at the beginning of 2017, by the end of the year, it would have been basically worth about the same thing. And I recognize you would have missed out on a heck of a lot of moves, but there's going to be some value there. So that's another reason I'm looking at it. Well, what's the other one? JDUS. JDUS is actually a little bit, it's not more volatile, but it has some really great moves but it's just almost the flip-flop of the JNUG. It is a flip-flop of the JNUG. And here's what it did. 102% in 26 days, 107% in 22 days, 42, 30. So again, if we did the same math, $1,000 invested at the beginning of the year, it would have grown to $3,200 by capturing just 1/2 of these moves, and so which is a little bit over 300%. And this isn't a guarantee, or this isn't even a promise. Hey, this is what we're going to be able to do. But what we've observed is that it's repeatable. It does it again and again and again. It gives these type of moves, and so what I'm trying to work with everybody to do now is, how do we get in front of one of these? How do we get in front of one of these? I was having a discussion with my son a little bit earlier about, what can we do to simplify things even more? Let's say a person's having troubles catching all the trades because of just work schedule and that kind of stuff. If I can continue to simplify it down to just, hey, if you're really, really busy, trade these 2 things, and that's it. Don't do anything else. Just trade these 2, and be patient for the bottoms and race to the top. These are both on daily charts. So that's what we're sitting there. Here's what we're doing. Seasonality, expectations, we're partly is it a correction or is it a pullback? Is this on Friday was the first bounce? Again, bonus trades, I'm looking at doing JNUG and JDUS. If you have any comments on that, please just drop me a line. If you think it's a great idea, great. But it's certainly going to make things a little bit more simple. ETFs we're looking at 7 ETFs. Nothing's cooking today. We did get some signals over the weekend. We'll take a look at those real quick. And remember, active trend trading system, there are 4 entry rules. There are 6 exit rules. And we have gone over those first for premium members, the training of the January. Yeah, Phil, that's a great question. Phil asked the question, are we going to do any option trades on JNUG and JDUS? The answer to that is no. I'm not going to do any. However, it does provide weekly options, but the weekly options are a little bit thin in the in the open interest. And so new composite watch list, which we shared. And here was our objective, on our strategy 2 trades, our income trades. We, generate somewhere between $500 and $1,000 per week. We averaged in January $500 a week in that. And so strategy 3 is doing well. And remember, there is no holy grail trading. And so let's take a look at a couple of stocks that we are chasing right now, that we are waiting for actually. And so I'm going to start here with the spiders. And go here to the daily, weekly. Okay. I'm going to be doing a training here in the not too distant future. It's going to be talking about how to use, additional how to use these intraday charts, the intraday hourly charts. You don't have to be at your computer all day to utilize this. We're using an hourly chart, but you can use it end of day. What's it telling you? And because oftentimes we get these low points right at either the end of the day or the high points at the end of the day, close to the end of the day, so you can plan your trades for the following day. So I just wanted to highlight that for folks. But what do we have going on here with the SPYs? Okay, spiders ripped to the downside. I mean, they really did. It found support, and I drew this in last night we have strong support at 253.73. We had strong resistance at 264. That was the 100-day moving average. 100-day moving average. As you can see, we busted above that and came up just shy of the 8-day moving average. And so it looks like it's trying to pull back. We do have a TSI tick up on the daily chart, but not so on the weekly chart. It is out of sync with each other. So what I'm looking for, and so what I'd be looking at doing is either on SPY or on the Qs to trade these. I'm looking for basically a little bit of a pullback back into a level of support, or even just drive sideways. But I would like to see my TSI get back down into this lower reversal zone, or get back here to the 0 line. Remember, that 0 line is a strong level of support. And just to do a little bit of pullback, because this was a really big race from here up. I pop over to the UPRO. Between Friday's move and today's move, okay, Friday's range all the way to the bottom up to top today, we're talking about almost 17%, 17.5%. That's how much of a run that is in just those 2 candles. The volatility is remaining high, and it has pushed on up, and just short of the 100-day moving average on UPRO, but I'd like to see it kind of build out. This is the first spike down. So I want to see a little bit of a pullback and then a rebound up. If I break back down below this low again, and I'll use this. Tracy asked the question, what are the chances of a retest of the low? I won't give you a percentage point on that, Tracy. I will tell you that if it does not come back and do some kind of a retracement and just blast on up, the 50-day moving average, the 20-day moving average will become suspect for potential places to do a reversal and pull back down. Now that would be a retest, but it may not retest all the way back to the low. It will tell us the significance of that kind of retest. What we could also get is just get kind of a gradual little trend upward, trying to get back up to take out this high, and that would be our step 1, step 2 of a topping pattern. And so to be constructive here, I'd like to see it pull back down in a little bit and then bounce again, hopefully get back above the 50 here, and certainly above the 8. So the TSI, everything looks like it's in gear, and we'll have to see what happens on a weekly basis, slightly out of sync. I will cover, let's see, so that's that. TQQQ, Again, similar type situation. We have, it has bounced up. It has closed above the 100-day moving average. Now it's got the range from the 100 up to the approximately 50-day moving average. Throw a Fibonacci on this. Throw a Fibonacci on this. There we go. And as you can see, if we push on back up to the 50, it'll be at the 50% retracement. Interesting how that works out. And so that's at about 151. If I get a pullback down into today's candle and a rebound, I would probably want to trigger a potential trade either off the body here or off this, ideally it would come all the way back to this uptrend line here and then bounce. Again, wait for a good entry off of the intraday, which means that TSI has got to either get back down to the 0 line and get back on down to the 0 line or down lower for a reversal. And so okay, let's follow on. Somebody just left me a note. So okay, let's move on over to the I'm going to cover just and I'll show it to you just real quickly. Here's JNUG or Nugget. This last move up on Nugget, it went from here. And I'll give you, David, this is just for you. It went from here up to here. Okay, so that's a 59% gain. What did JNUG do during that same move? Remember, 59, and there you go. That's 69. So yeah, that's that caught my attention. That's a little bit better. So JNUG, nice little tick up today again, but got overextended. I want to wait for a new setup on the with the TSI spinning down again, targeting support at the 0 line or support lower down than that. It could run all the way back down into the, I like the midsection of today's candle, about $13, or even the lower part of the candle. So that's what I'm looking for on JNUG. JDust, I'm not ready to trade yet. Okay, I think that covers it as far as the two entities that we're going to be covering. Any indication that we are establishing to set up for a follow-through day are unknown. Yeah, unknown right now, Barry, whether or not we'll get the follow-through day. The thing about so many of the technical analysis is that we know what we're looking for, but we don't know that we got what we're looking for until after the fact. Until after the fact. And so, okay. So we ran a little bit further, but I wanted to provide, the concept on JNUG to everybody and JDust. Again, I think that if you are a busy person, that those two entities could give you some potential nice gainers for the year, if, and it's a big if you're patient and will wait for the signals to set up. So, any final questions? Okay, Brandon, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. I'm sure you'll have a debrief for me on how well Dad did during this section. So I get the recording up, and trade wisely, trade profitably. God bless everybody. Aloha.